You wanna? I'm excited to just try it, dude. That is disgustingly good.
That is. Not only is it disgustingly good, it's
horrendously
unique.
good. Oh my goodness.
It's such a distinct flavor.
The hops and barley bloom in a land of craft and cans. Every sip a story shared. Review and taste we dare with our Sunday sips. Sunday sips. Every for a trip.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sunday Sips from the Tales, Ales, and Trails channel. I am your host, Kyle Lucas. That is your other host,
Nick Woodard.
Nick Jehoshaphat Woodard in the flesh. You're never going to know his actual middle name. We are here with a local, semi-local beer from one of our favorite sushi spots. You heard that right.
It's such an interesting flair. I'm not gonna use flair. Interesting take on a local beer, because we haven't done something like this. You know, we've stuck strictly to the local breweries in town.
Our North Star.
And kind of, I'll peel back the curtain just slightly on kind of how this came to be.
Sure.
And then we'll introduce the beer. I was on our Tales, Ales, and Trails account on Instagram. I was kind of making our play to follow kind of as many local entities as we can. Just supporting local businesses and all of that. That's kind of an element of what we want to bring to this channel.
It's very important to us.
And I followed Big Tuna.
Yeah.
Which is a sushi spot in town. It's one that we like a lot.
It's one of our favorites.
It's kind of our spot to go to. There's other good spots in town for sushi, but we keep finding ourselves going back to Big Tuna. It's
very easy to go.
It's good ambiance.
Very
it's
accessible.
Easy to go to.
Yeah.
The sushi is good for you guys. I don't eat sushi, but they got a killer chicken teriyaki bowl.
They do, yeah. They have good other options, and that's very important.
That spicy garlic edamame.
Oh, super good, baby.
So I followed them, and 10 minutes later, they direct messaged me on Instagram, and all it was a picture of this beer, and it said "Cheers." I was like, all right, well, I got to go check that out, see what's going on there. So I looked into it, and sure enough, this sushi spot collaborated with a brewery in Sacramento to produce this beer. So I was like, that would be a really cool thing to kind of experiment with, check out. It'd be a departure from what we do normally, which is local breweries.
Sacramento to us is semi-local.
Yeah. So it's all kind of mostly local at this point. So thought it'd be fun to do. Thought it'd be just something a little bit different. So I'm excited to try it.
The brewery we're talking about specifically is called Onibi Beer Company, and the collab with Big Tuna is called Big Shachihoko, and it's a hazy Shiso IPA. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I got a little bit about it.
Talk to me, Goose.
So the story of Shachihoko. Shachihoko are fearsome sea monsters. They have the body of a large fish and the head of a tiger. Their broad fins and tails always point towards the heavens, and their dorsal fins have numerous sharp spikes. Shachihoko live in colder northern oceans, and they're able to swallow massive amounts of water with a single gulp. They are also able to summon clouds and control the rain. Shachihoko statues are often found adorning the rooftops, serving as protector spirits. It was believed that in the event of a fire, the Shachihoko could protect the building by summoning rain clouds or by spitting out the massive amounts of water that they had previously swallowed. And then a little bit about the beer. A nice combination between the East Coast and West Coast IPAs. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
With lots of juicy tropical flavors and some bitterness notes on the back.
Yeah.
The Shiso adds a fresh citrusy flavor with hints of cinnamon, cloves, and mint.
Ooh.
I, as an East Coast guy, am excited for a combination of East and West Coast IPAs.
That's a pretty fun description of a beer. And then just to dive
about the brewery
a little bit into the brewery itself, on their website, onibibeercompany.com, they've got kind of an About Us section, and it's pretty straightforward. They say, our mission is simple: create California beers with Japanese flair.
Yeah, flair.
I keep using flair.
Dude, it came back to you.
Came back.
If you love something, let it go. And it loves you back. It came back.
So they actually partner with Jackrabbit Brewing Company, which is a brewery that we haven't done on this podcast yet. We will. I'm actually a pretty big fan of their beers. They said that we were able to create the perfect blend of Japanese flavors and California microbrew craftsmanship with Jackrabbit Brewing's expertise and knowledge. Combined with our innovations, we're brewing an exclusive experience to the microbrew culture. So I like that. That speaks to me in terms of like trying to bring something new and different to the local craft beer space.
Yeah.
There's so many breweries that brew a lot of great beers, but for Onibi to have this kind of take on it, they want to have more of a Japanese influence on these craft beers.
Almost like an ethos, if you will, of their statement.
I like that a lot. I mean, that seems really intriguing, and I kind of can't wait to see how it manifests itself in the beer itself.
Yeah, they even have the story of the Shachihoko on the can.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was reading it as
I was saying it. Yeah, 6.9 ABV, getting a little heavy, but what would you expect? You wouldn't expect less from a hazy. I'm excited to taste the Shiso aspect of it. Also, we showed it to you, but the description of the Shachihoko is on there. The serpent with the lion head on it. It's really cool can design.
Yep.
If you guys can find this, pick it up. Better yet, if you can go to Big Tuna or if you can go to Onibi,
get you a little sushi. Yeah.
Go get it.
Yeah,
because it's going to be exciting.
It was funny when I went. So Big Tuna's got its main restaurant, and then if you go right next door, it's got a place where you can go get. Ooh, the wind died down.
Nice.
Out of nowhere.
It's a little spicy.
We'll see if it stays.
Yeah,
probably not.
Something.
Probably not.
Here it comes.
So they've got like a gift shop / to go order place where you can walk in and get stuff. And I walked in and was like, hey, I'm looking for the big Shachihoko. Shachihoko. And they're like, how do you know we have that? And I was like, you
guys sent it to me.
Yeah, I was like, I got some connections. I feel like you're the first person who's asked for that. Like, it's not even out on display yet. And I'm like, oh, all right.
Oh, wow.
So
that's cool.
We got it. They went in the back and got it for us. So
that's sick. Oh, so this is kind of like an unveiling, unless maybe Onibi has it.
I think Onibi has it, but I just thought it was cool that we're getting a little bit of an inside scoop here.
Insiders.
So
yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Oh no.
Yeah, I missed it too.
That was bad crack.
It's all right. It doesn't reflect on the beer. It reflects poorly on us.
Yep.
Ooh. You smelled it before the pour. Ooh, the color, dude.
Do you want to know what a Shiso is?
Sure. Actually, do you know? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just looked it up. I'm assuming you didn't know, because I didn't know.
Holy crap, that smells
I didn't know
good.
at all. So a Shiso.
I just smelled some of the foam, dude. It went up. We're out here snorting beer.
I love every episode we do because it's fun. You get to taste new beers. The second recording, and peel back the curtain, we usually do 2 recordings at once so we can stay ahead of things and be able to manage the process. The second recording is always just a little bit more fun because we've already drank that first beer. Things are a little bit more loose. We're having a little bit more fun with it. So you gotta love that aspect to it.
Yeah, I dip my nose into the beer. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. So Shiso, also known as, I'm not going to say that. Perilla fruit. Yeah, nope.
Perilla.
Shiso is a flavorful herb native to Asia and a staple in many Asian cuisines. It's a member of the mint family and is related to basil.
Okay, sweet.
It's known for its refreshing aroma. and complex flavor profile, which is described as minty, herbal, and citrusy with hints of clove and cumin. The leaves and flowers are edible and can be used as a garnish or wrap for sushi and sashimi.
That's exactly what they said. The shiso adds citrusy flavor with hints of cinnamon, cloves, and mint.
Yep.
So
it
automatically
that's
smells
so
like it.
cool. We would never have tasted a hazy IPA with shiso incorporated.
I like the smell. If you haven't smelled it yet,
Yeah, no.
Stick your nose in it and really get it like in there.
Oh, I'm not gonna snort foam like you do.
Yeah. No, it smells a little minty, a little clovey, but I like that it still translates when I'm smelling it to hazy.
And I mean,
the color
is just hazy all day.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's not clear.
No.
You wanna? I'm excited
go,
to just
dude.
try it, dude. That is disgustingly good.
That is.
Not
Not only is it disgustingly good, it's
horrendously
unique.
good. Oh my
It's
goodness.
such a distinct flavor. Like, we've had this conversation
It doesn't
before.
taste like any hazy.
There's a lot of hazies that you can drink and be like, oh, that tastes like a generic hazy. This sets itself apart, and I can say that after one sip. Pretty immediately, it
so
sets
good.
itself apart from your standard hazy.
I am flabbergasted
Yeah.
how good that is. It does taste like a 6.9. Kind of hits the head on the feel of the alcohol.
Yeah.
The flavor is out of this world. It is heavy. I'm gonna go with the negative-ish side first. And the only thing, if I'm pulling teeth about it, is I'm not gonna drink too many of these.
And I think that is a pulling teeth.
But I think that's kind of the point. I think that this is not something to be chugged. This is not something to be excessively drank, like at least immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throughout the night, yes.
Yes.
I can see myself. I can see myself continuously drinking this
For sure.
But definitely, it's a very, very heavy flavor and a very heavy beer. I don't mind that at all. It's just you got to pace yourself with it a little bit.
Yeah.
The flavor is, like you said, so unique. It is horrendously good.
Yeah.
I can safely say this. I've never ever tasted a hazy like this.
No, this is one of a kind.
With it still, like, blindfold me, it still tastes like a hazy.
Yeah, you can totally pick this out as a hazy for
It's
sure.
crazy.
Yeah, it's something else.
The mint is there, the clove, the cinnamon, everything they said is there. I honestly, I thought this was going to be good. I didn't think this was going to be this good.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very pleasant surprise for
Big
sure.
Tuna, I hope you have this on tap, or at least served at the restaurant, because I'm going to be asking for this every time I go there now.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I would love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I'm going to pause right here.
Sure.
And I'm going to grab the charging cable because I keep looking at that. How much battery we got left.
Okay.
And we'll cut it. Watson out. What are you doing? Jesus Christ. Oh. So, for me, I mean, it's everything that you said it was. It's such a unique
Yeah.
take on a hazy. Something I don't think I was prepared for. It's such a cool, and like, who would think to incorporate Shiso, which prior to this podcast episode we didn't even know what it was.
Pull up our past scores if you could.
I don't have that list yet,
Okay. We'll get it.
but I do need to get it.
We haven't done Sierra Nevada Hazy Little Thing, have we?
We have not done Sierra
Okay.
Nevada Hazy Little Thing.
Anyway.
Which usually would serve as our North Star. I can pull up our podcast, like just our episodes.
Well,
and
no,
go through
because
and see.
Well, I was just wondering if we had done that yet.
Sure.
But it's every sip I take, it's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Also, that being said, they serve this, or eventually, hopefully, they serve this at Big Tuna. This would be perfect with a meal.
Yeah.
You know, a little.
Because I like that they said that Shiso can be used like with sushi itself. So it's kind of like incorporating something that you could have with your meal.
Yeah.
With the drink you're having with your meal.
Sure.
And I've always, the only thing that I'm curious about, and it doesn't go into too much detail online from what we've seen, but it doesn't tell us exactly what Big Tuna's like collaborative element was to this. So I'd love to know. Oh goodness, a little windy out here today. I would love to know kind of what their role was in bringing this beer to life.
Right.
And I'm sure that there was a role. We just don't know what it was. But just like, it's a really, the thing I can't get away from is just, it's a cool take on a hazy.
Yeah,
like,
you don't see that a lot. I feel like a hazy is already a cool take on a beer.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And to expand on that even more and have a cool take on a cool take is something else entirely.
Yeah, 100%.
And I love the Japanese influence into it. I like that whole ethos of Onibi.
Yep.
I definitely, after hearing about this, because before you had mentioned this and brought this up that we should do this beer on the podcast, I'd never heard of Onibi.
Right.
I'm wondering how new they are. But
I do want to know that. I don't think we saw that on the website.
No, but
I do want to know kind of how long they've been around.
We eventually we're gonna go through a lot of Sacramento breweries.
Yeah. Just
because they're like that semi-local
they're
to
accessible.
us. They're very accessible to us.
Yeah.
We already have a few candidates that we're gonna get to in Sacramento. We got Urban Roots, which is one of our favorites. We got Onibi. We have some in the one you went to in Woodland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was an early podcast poll.
Yeah.
I believe that was Blue Note Brewing.
Blue Note, yeah, Blue Note. And we had done that because you had just went there.
And I really like that beer. But also Moonraker. Moonraker is an Auburn beer that we love. So there's no shortage of great beers in the Sacramento area. I just hadn't heard of Onibi. And I'm glad we got turned on to this by Big Tuna. I mean, thanks for, sliding into our DMs like that. That was pretty cool.
Thank you for the plug.
That was pretty cool, guys.
We like to experience like newer beers, and we obviously have. Ooh,
goodness gracious!
It's carbonated.
Yeah.
It's obviously like we have like a list of beers that we need to get to because we've drank so many different good beers in our day.
Right.
Back in our day. But I mean, people are always innovating. They're always putting out new stuff, and we definitely need to give nods to that as well.
It's so interesting to me, and I'm as we're talking through this, I'm looking through our list of episodes to see what hazies we've done, so we can talk, kind of take a look at how those compare to this one. We haven't done that many hazies at all. Which is interesting to me.
That's true.
And B, And I think this goes for, you know, several different types of beer, not just hazies, but we haven't really reviewed the North Star beers.
Right.
We haven't reviewed Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. We have not reviewed Sierra Nevada's Farmers Brewing's Garage Dweller, which I think is probably one of the best hazies I've ever drank in my life.
It's kind of because we're trying to dance around. Nick and I constantly try to dance around the fact that we don't want to just like flood with beers that are. I mean, we do want to do a lot of local stuff. And that's why we do the non-local and then local.
Right.
But we don't want to just flood with beers that we're familiar with. And that we want to expand a little bit more.
And that other people who may be watching this may not be able to get. That's kind of our thing. Like, we want to, if you see a beer on here that you think sounds interesting, we want you to be able to go out and get it.
Yeah. But at the same time, we also want to review all the beers that everyone is familiar with.
Right.
So it's kind of like a fine line that we try to tread. And I love finding new stuff that is semi-local like this.
Yeah.
That is honestly knocking my socks off.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's super good.
And I will say that, you know, we're drinking once again out of the Sierra Nevada Alpha Hop Society glasses.
We are, just like last week.
Speaking of the hazy little thing that we kind of alluded to, our interview with Ken Grossman, Sierra Nevada's co-founder and longtime president, is out right now. Fantastic episode. We won't dive too much into it, but it's something if you're a big craft beer fan, you really want to check it out.
You got to go see it.
We'll have a link to the episode itself in the description of this episode. Check it out if you can. We're really happy with how it turned out. We're hoping to do a lot more of that in the future, of really diving into the story behind the beer, or the cider, or the wine, or the craft spirit. Like, we've been given the opportunity to, you know, really talk to some of these pioneers in the craft alcohol industry, and we're going to take advantage of it as best that we can. You know, production quality might not always be fantastic. I think if you're a follower of this podcast, you know that we rely on the substance more than the editing process. That being said, we've had some really fantastic help from Ben Moda of All Access Sports and Access Designs. He's was instrumental in making the Ken Grossman episode look as good as it did.
Absolutely phenomenal.
We can't guarantee that it's always going to look that good, because sometimes that duty will fall to us, and we just don't have that kind of, you know, being candid, we don't have that kind of technological know-how. But the interviews are always going to be fantastic. I mean, you know, getting the chance to talk to these people, tell their stories, hear about their passion and why they're doing it in the way that they're doing it, I think is really valuable. And it adds something to, you know, making you want to go and try these different spirits or different beverages. So,
yeah.
With that being said, enough of my rambling. Let's get to reviewing this bad boy.
I will go first.
I like that, confident.
Taking charge because I want to. This is by far. I know I got a floater in mine too. The wind is
the wind
knocking stuff in here. This is.
I know how much you like it. You're almost done with it.
By far, my favorite hazy of our podcast.
Favorite hazy that we've reviewed so far.
Exactly, of our podcast so far. As of this date. That's why I asked about the hazy little thing. Right. This might actually be better than the hazy. Let's not
what it brings to the table is so unique and so interesting.
Let's not talk sacrilege. Let's not be, you know, let's not be heretics real quick. The flavor profile is what impresses me the most.
Yeah.
And how jam-packed this is with different combinations that work.
Yeah.
Work. When we did I'm gonna bring it up. The grapefruit Radler.
Yeah.
From Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
From that. And this is not a shade on Trader Joe's
or the beer company.
Well, they have other good stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But this specific one, the one that we reviewed a few weeks ago, it was our lowest ranked one, and because it was shitty.
It was an ambitious collaboration, an ambitious combination of flavors, and it just didn't work out.
But that's what I'm getting to, is the combo of those flavors I felt were pulling me apart from each other instead of vibing with each other and working well with each other. I was getting like wheat and then grapefruit and then something else.
Yeah.
And they just didn't meld well.
Yeah. And
this has all of that working in tandem.
For sure. And I think there's something to be said about, wanting to be innovative and wanting to, kind of combine these different flavor profiles and see how they interact with each other. But if it's not a good combination, you run the risk of, creating something that's less than what you hope for.
Or I guess just structurally not put together well.
Right.
There are hits and misses, and that one just happened to be a miss. The first big miss on our podcast.
I would say so.
Anyway, about this, I'm just gonna say this is a 9.25. It's phenomenal.
I'm sorry, but I'm speechless. What are you talking about?
This is a 9.25.
What are you talking about?
This is a 9.25.
Kyle, the highest rated beer we have on our podcast was Sierra Nevada Summerfest.
Yeah.
You're putting this, and it's a different category because it's a hazy. But you're putting this on the 9.25 level.
Yeah, maybe it's a little ambitious just because it's a hazy.
It's very ambitious.
I'll just go 9. I'll go 9.
I still think that's ambitious. But
this is the best hazy that I've had. Like, we're in hot weather now. We're officially in summer.
Sure.
It's the best hazy I've had all summer. This is the best beer I've had all summer. As of
Wow.
2 days into summer.
Wow.
But I'm not kidding. That is impressed me this much.
That is really.
This is one of my top 25 beers now.
Wow.
I'm not kidding.
That says something. We've had a lot of beers.
I almost said top 10. I was like, well,
top 10 stuff. Hold on.
But top 25.
Nine flat is what you're going with. Is that your final score?
Absolutely 9. I can't put it in the 8 for myself, or else I can lower it from a 9.25 to a 9. But I need that 9 on there because or else I would think that I didn't do my actual interpretation of
of you weren't
score.
Truthful to what
because that is what I was in my mind. We were talking about the beer and I was like, this is a 9.5. This is better than Summerfest.
9.5 is nuts.
But I was like, okay, we've recorded one.
9.5 is rare air.
I know I'm a little buzzed, but this has honestly impressed me that much that I will stick with the 9 flat.
Okay I'm gonna give you the score right off the bat.
Sure.
I'm gonna go 8.5.
That's fine. That's good.
Usually, I think, typically in how judging by the episodes that we've done, and this is number 38 for those keeping track at home. You've been generally a harsher critic than I have. Usually when we both like a beer, you rate it a little bit less than I do. But for me, as someone who I think between the two of us is the hazy aficionado.
Sure.
Is someone who really, really respects this style of beer. I like it a lot. I love that it presents a really unique take on what a hazy could be. And it does exactly what Onibi's kind of mission statement is to do, which is add a Japanese flair to California craft beer.
Yeah.
And you couldn't, create a more apt beer than for that mission statement.
8.5 is high.
8.5 is great.
8.5 is high.
But I just know what the 9s are.
Yeah.
And we haven't reviewed them yet, but I know what the 9s are.
I expect you to call this out in a certain way. I expect you to put hazy above this. I expect you to put probably Garage Dweller above this.
And I think that's why I have to put this where it is.
I think hazy is going to be a match to this. I'm just going to call it now. And we're going to do hazy later, way later. But
might have to do it sooner rather than later.
Well,
based on this beer, just to follow up.
Just for me to call it out. I think it's gonna match with me on this ranking, maybe a tick higher, like 9.2. Maybe that 9.25 goes towards Hazy, but Onibi, if you're encroaching on Sierra Nevada's Hazy little thing,
You're doing something right.
you're doing something correctly. And I think they also will earn those scores because of different things they do.
Right.
This is not going to do the same thing a Hazy little thing will do, and the Hazy little thing will do something that this doesn't do.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. This will do something that Hazy doesn't do.
Yeah, definitely.
But in their own retrospect, like their own ways, special ways.
Yeah.
This is honestly, you presented this beer to me to like review on the podcast. I was not expecting.
I would say
this.
you did not have high expectations for this beer.
I had a decent expectation, but
sure.
I mean, dude, for a 6.9%, I will say back to just to pipe it down a little bit. You can't have too many of these immediately. This is a sipper.
Yep.
You gotta relax.
The ABV, almost 7%. It's very present.
Also just the flavor of it, which is something that I really love about it, and that's why it gives it that high score for me. It also disables you from drinking too much at once. It's not chuggable, not just because of the ABV, but because of the flavors. The amount of flavors in there, you're gonna get real overpowered if you start chugging this. And I think you lose an aspect of this beer if you start chugging it.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it's meant to be savored and it's meant to be appreciated.
It's meant to have with your dinner at Big Tuna.
Dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go to Big Tuna.
We good?
Good. See you later, Big Tuna.
Be there soon. All right, 8.5 for me, 9 for you.
Yes, sir.
I think that's all we can say about this beer. Fantastic beer. Certainly exceeded our expectations.
You're right.
Let's chug her.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Not a chugger.
Probably not a chugger.
Yeah, because the flavors just kind of muddle after that.
Yeah.
Super good. Onibi, congratulations. You knocked it out of the park.
Big Tuna.
Same with you, Big Tuna.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
This is phenomenal. Don't forget, hit that bell, like, subscribe. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry.
TikTok. X.
TikTok.
All the major social media platforms. We're there. Check this episode out. Check all of our episodes out.
Check out the Ken interview.
Check out the Ken Grossman interview with Sierra Nevada. I mean, fantastic discussion about craft beer and the journey that Sierra Nevada has been on. So
Onibi, see you soon. Big Tuna, see you sooner.
Yep.
Don't forget, you crack one for us, we'll crack one for you.
Cheers.
Take care. It's so good.
It's very good. It's very fucking good.
That is fantastic.
Mosaic dreams take flight of IPAs and we adore. Raise a toast to what's new here in the world of craft beer with Sunday sips. Sunday sips. Every pour a trip with our Sunday sips. Each note we hear as we sip and cheer. Craft beer's near. Sunday's treasure's clear with our Sunday sips. Sunday sips. Every pour a drip with a Sunday.